Today I ran a workshop, or a couple of workshops, on vlogging at the Social Media Exchange. Social Media Exchange is organised by a company called Sound Delivery, which is run by a wonderful woman called Jude Habib. I first met Jude at one of her events that she booked me for, so I spoke at her Being the Story event, where my parents and I went up on stage together and I did a performance with them, if you've seen that one on YouTube. So she gave me one of my first sort of speaking opportunities and really sort of took me under her wing, and she invited me back to talk about the vlogging I've been doing and to help educate people from charities in how to vlog and things like that, and actually to kind of demystify it a little bit and make people realise you don't need expensive kits. So I thought I would just take you through my presentation, and then for anyone that wasn't able to attend, they can learn something too. I will share as much information as I can. I haven't included the videos that I showed as examples because obviously they're on this YouTube channel, but you can find all of them there. Sorry, I'm really tired, it's been a long day. So I did a bit of intro about myself, and the fact that I began vlogging as part of my PD365 project just under a year ago now. I'll be finishing in April. And sort of explained that I'd learned an incredible amount of, things not to do and stuff like that in that time. And that actually I'd kind of learned a lot of different techniques and styles because I wanted to keep it quite broad. God, I'm so tired, sorry. Not being a brand, I can be quite broad in my styles. I can do lots of different things. I can make it look different. I can adopt almost a different tone for every single piece. But I kind of acknowledge the fact that as brands at the session, they would probably need to be a bit more consistent. So vlogging is great because it's obviously visual and highly shareable. And actually, the thing I find that's great is for someone like me who has manual dexterity problems, but for really anyone that's time poor as well, it's quicker than blogging. Typing out a full article takes time, whereas you can actually just speak from the heart and create something great and kind of edit it quickly and it can be done. It can add a new dimension to a brand. So if you have quite a static, kind of rigid brand for your charity or for your organisation, it can add kind of a more authentic edge, something a bit more personal. And actually you can do it with really basic kit and you don't need a huge amount of skill to be able to do it. So these are my 10 decisions that you need to make before you start, because it's always kind of, if you're keen to do it, you're always likely to rush in and just kind of start doing it, but actually these are the decisions you need to make before you even start. So firstly, what do you want to do to achieve? What's important to you to get out of the vlogging? And what would make it a success when you look back at it? Oh my goodness. Deary me. What would make it a success? If you look back at the project and kind of assess it after 3 months, would you continue it? What would make you continue it for a further sort of 6 months? My success criteria were to have something that Parkinson's UK could share, make content that they could share actively, and they do, which is great, to actually kind of engage some people that wouldn't perhaps normally get in contact with me, who learnt about me through the vlog and who perhaps see me as someone that they can share their stories with, and that's working well. And also to get kind of a decent amount of views. So some of my videos have had really decent amounts of views. I don't actually have a huge amount of subscribers, but that to me is okay because I'm trying to get kind of a broad range of people, not the same people again and again. I want to kind of spread my message to as many people as possible. So I love the fact that I have like a key viewership who come back and watch everything that I do. But it's also nice that I'm welcoming new people and they're getting to learn about Parkinson's. Platform wise, I've chosen YouTube because it has great kind of inbuilt stuff. It's kind of set up really well for what I need it to do. And if you put your content on there, people will find it when they're searching for Parkinson's. Oh, good God. When they're searching for Parkinson's, they will find my stuff. But there's Vimeo, and you can also host things on your own website, but then they won't get found as easily. You need to think about your topic, and so my central topic is Parkinson's, but I've also thought kind of laterally and thought, well, actually, what else could it be about? So I'm interested in tech, I'm interested in assistive technology, I'm interested in accessibility, I'm interested in, equality for people and things like that. So actually, I can interview people that have those themes. They don't have to necessarily be about Parkinson's or related to Parkinson's. I can talk to people who have skills in those areas. Then you need to think, is your vlog for your key audience, your kind of core audience, all of them, or is it for a particular demographic that you don't think you're servicing? So, for example, if you aren't reaching millennials with your brand currently, it would be great to kind of do some vlogging because that's something that might interest them. You need to think how often you want to put out vlog posts, because it's good to have some rhythm to it and some structure so people expect something. Now, I've been terrible at this. For those of you watching will know. I started off kind of trying to post at the same time every day, and so that you knew when I was going to be posting, but it's kind of fallen by the wayside. But if you're vlogging less frequently, then that's easier to do, but it's good to have kind of a structure and some timing. And when I create my sort of ideas of what I want to do, I've put together kind of a spreadsheet, and when I start to plan it out, so when I do that, I put in stuff that are known dates, so public holidays, things like Valentine's Day, I can do a vlog about that, yearly events, so things like today is apparently World Nutella Day, which is random, but if I wanted to do a post about Nutella, that would be the time to do it. So I can get those all blocked in, and then I can fill the rest with more sort of timely day-to-day stuff that just happens, and that I can kind of catch as it happens. What does the tone of voice need to be? Will it belong to one person, or is it a character? Is there a character associated with your brand, or are there sort of multiple people? And if you have a tone of voice that's like a written tone of voice, does the vlog need to match that? I would suggest not, that it's actually something that you can be a bit more creative with. And I realised that I could actually start to kind of tell my story and tell the stories of Parkinson's through interviewing other people and using their voices as well. So I've interviewed a whole bunch of people, and will be interviewing a lot more to bring other voices into it. And actually the ones that have done quite well have been people like Jordan, who have a really strong personality. There's a whole range of different styles on my vlog, and that's because I wanted to keep it quite fun and quite kind of different every day. So there's some sort of action shots, which is just film stuff, some to camera pieces where I just talk directly to the camera. There's a lot of kind of stills or videos with voiceovers where I try to be quite creative, and some of them are mixed, so I like to kind of try and keep it quite different. But if you want to do it and keep like a particular style, just choose a style that works across the board. In quality, I've kept mine quite rough and dirty in a way. It's quite sort of quite authentic, quite gritty sort of style, like it's not slick or anything. But if your brand is quite slick, then you might need to consider it being a bit more sophisticated and perhaps using better equipment, spending more time on things to edit it and stuff like that. And you need to think about how it's going to be shared. So will you be sharing it on social media? How should it look? What will entice people in? But also, who else would you like to share it? So if there's anyone that you think would share your content well, maybe try and interview them so they have an invested interest in sharing it. And this probably should go up at the beginning, but it also works at the end, is how much time and money can be dedicated to the content for the blog. Because actually it's going to be dependent on then the quality will be dependent on it, and how much time people can spend on it, you know, editing and things like that, like what kit you'll be using, what the quality will be. So make some decisions about how much you can spend on it, whether it's going to be someone's job or just something they do for fun. And the basics. So this is considered, if you Google search basic vlog kits, this is what comes up. So you've got some kind of microphones, cameras, batteries, memory cards, stuff like that. This is the kit that I've used so far. So selfie stick, a big old bit of plastic, a strap that I used to create like a holster, which I could then sort of tie around myself and film my screen, because I didn't have a GoPro or anything. I use like coloured gels, I use like little macro lenses and stuff like that I'm going to play with. I've used my label maker, and I use the selfie stick with the plastic thing attached together to kind of go over the top of things to film from above. And I've used all these before. There's some examples of where I've used them. And editing wise, I do most of mine in iMovie or the kind of phone or laptop software. But you can do it in kind of more like elegant systems like Final Cut Pro if you want it to be a bit neater. But I don't think there's anything wrong with actually just doing it on your phone. And these are the 3 tips that you must remember when you start vlogging. Always shoot in landscape. When you give your phone to someone and you say, can you film me doing something, they always hold it portrait, so I feel like I'm permanently yelling at people telling them to hold it landscape. But you'll need the landscape content, so make sure you're filming that from the start. And shoot more footage than you actually physically need, so shoot lots of content, but also add in extra bits at the beginning and end if you're going to be cutting in, so that you're not cutting into people speaking. And this is an obvious one, but backup clips so you don't lose anything. Make sure you're saving everything, because if you're making authentic content, to have to go back and interview people again or talk to people again is not a great idea. Sorry Jordan, I know I interviewed you like 4 times because I did it wrong, but yeah, that's my bad. But yeah, that was my presentation. Hope any of you that are thinking about vlogging find it useful, and an insight into what I've been doing today. Bye for now.